Welcome in, Bills Mafia, for another edition of the Go Bills Podcast Halftime Report. I am your host and founder of the page, Brett McDurphy. Glad to be with you, and I have a special guest that is on here. It is the Red, White, and Bills that is at the game, actually, and he said, let's go. This is insane. Sean, if you can comment in the comment section and let us know what you're experiencing there at the stadium, because I know it's electric, but I mean, it's going to be incredible. So let us know what you're going through and what the emotions are in the stadium. We would really appreciate it. But I know it's been a great game for you to watch, and I'm glad you got to experience it, man. You deserved it. And glad it's a good game to watch, other than the last game that I went to that was a little bit of a back and forth game. This one is actually in the Bills' favor. I got a buddy of mine that's a Dolphins fan that's behind the scenes watching this with us. And he's a little bit disappointed, which I understand where he's coming from. Difficult start, especially after they put up 70 points on the Denver Broncos last week. But the Buffalo Bills have stopped the Miami Dolphins, gotten them off the field, and done some really good things on defense to slow down the Dolphins' offense. Let's go over to the player stats on Google. We'll go over them real quick. Starting with Josh Allen, he is 14 of 17, 201 yards, 3 touchdowns so far in the game. But Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs both have looked really good for the Buffalo Bills. Absolutely love what I saw from both of the players. 5 catches, 107 yards, 2 touchdowns from Stephon Diggs, who lit up the secondary of the Dolphins on that second touchdown that he got on the day, and it was a great one that he got. Beating the Dolphins secondary and seems like every time that the Dolphins are on Stephon Diggs, they have to hold him in order for him to not be open. Leading the way in rushing is Latavius Murray, 3 carries, 34 yards. And the Bills are doing a good job of slowing down the offense of the Miami Dolphins by holding on to the time of possession battle, which is something that we talked about that was important for the Buffalo Bills to be able to do in this game. Overall, for the time of possession battle, it is 16 minutes, 12 seconds for the Buffalo Bills on offense. And then for the Dolphins, 13 minutes and 48 seconds. And you got to remember, though, the Bills will not get the ball back in the second half. So the Dolphins will get the ball back to start the second half. Overall, first downs in the game, 15 for the Buffalo Bills, 9 for the Dolphins. Third down efficiency has been pretty good for the Buffalo Bills, 2 of 5 compared to 1 of 5 for the Miami Dolphins. So the Bills are being able to get their defense off the field on third down. Total plays on offense for the Buffalo Bills, 33 to 27. And then the number of sacks in the game so far, 1-1. That sack came from Leonard Floyd. Number of penalties, which has been something that the Dolphins have kind of been eating up on penalties a little bit in this game. 4 penalties for 68 yards so far. Most of that came from the pass interference call on Stephon Diggs. That play that ended up being a almost 40-yard pass interference call. But it does look like the Dolphins are starting to get a little bit chippy out there on the field. You saw a little bit of some guys like Christian Wilkins getting a little bit involved as well and getting a little loud out there on the field. Let's go over to the comments on YouTube and Facebook. I want to go over them specifically because we have Sean from the Red, White, and Bills. He said that they can't let up as well and that the defensive line is dominating and Milano's a stud. John Robert on Facebook says that let's keep going in the second half. Go Bills. Appreciate you, John and Sean, for watching the show. So the biggest thing that I've noticed for the Buffalo Bills is they're able to run the ball and dictate the time of possession battle, which was one of the keys to the game for me and the Buffalo Bills and how they could win this game. Done a good job in the first half. We just need to not let up in the second half. This Dolphins team can put up points pretty fast, and that's something that Buffalo is going to have to do a good job of making sure that they're not letting up in this game, or else the Dolphins can get right back into this game and they can find a way to win it. Let's go over to the stats, though, for the Miami Dolphins as well. Tua is 14 of 18, 155 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Leading the way at receiver, and he has the 2 touchdowns for the Miami Dolphins. Devon Achane, 4 carries, 19 yards, 2 touchdowns in the game. Tyreek Hill has been limited to 2 catches for 39 yards in this game. And then the leading defensive player, Jerome Baker, 5 tackles overall in the game as well. The one person that got a sack in this game who has probably the best hair on the Miami Dolphins, and somebody that I know a lot of people like, especially my buddy that's watching the game with me. And this is a player that, you can talk about Peter Schrager. He's been wearing his jersey. It is Andrew Van Ginkel having the 1 sack in this game. Let's go over to the NFL scores around the NFL as well and talk about what is going on around the NFL. The Los Angeles Rams are up on the Colts 20-0. The Ravens are up on the Browns 21-3. Panthers are up on the Vikings 13-7 in the game that features 2 0-3 teams. The Bengals are the Bengals are trailing the Titans 24-3. Buccaneers up 14-3 on the Saints. The Bears are up on the Broncos 21-7. The Commanders are ahead of the Eagles 17-10. And then at halftime of the Texans and Steelers game, Texans are up 16-0 so far in that game. Coming up in the 4:00 games, we do have the Raiders and Chargers, as well as the Cardinals and 49ers, Patriots and Cowboys. And then to finish up the day today, we have the Jets and Chiefs. That's going to be a game that you're going to see Travis Kelce and probably a lot of Swifties at this game, with Taylor Swift being in attendance for the 2nd straight week to watch a game with Travis Kelce. We also have on Monday Night Football, it's going to be the Giants, who are probably going to be without Saquon Barkley in this game, going up against Geno Smith and the high-powered offense of the Seattle Seahawks as well, with guys like DK Metcalf and JJ Smith-Njigba as well. So that'll be a fun game to watch on Monday Night Football tomorrow night. As far as the games that have went final so far over the course of the week, we do have the Lions that won Thursday night against the Packers 34-20. And then the Jaguars finished up in London earlier today. So that's the next opponent for the Buffalo Bills, 23-7 on the Falcons. So the next opponent that the Bills will face is going to be in London next week. And that's going to be a fun game. So Bills Mafia, if you're attending that game, don't forget to shoot me a DM on Instagram. We would greatly appreciate all the photos, as well as anything that you possibly have that you're going to see around London. We would greatly appreciate the photos, and we will feature them on the podcast. This has been the Go Bills Podcast Halftime Report, and we will see you next time for another edition of the Go Bills Podcast. That'll be immediately after the conclusion of the Dolphins and Bills game. Let's finish out the game strong, and let's put up a lot of points in the second half and finish off the Dolphins. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow us on all social media platforms. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Threads, as well as on our website, gobillspodcast.com, where you can find all of our upcoming shows that we will be doing with collaborations like the Nickel City Mafia, Red, White, and Bills, as well as on our channel as well. This has been Brett with the Go Bills Podcast, and we will see you after the game for another edition of the Go Bills Podcast. Until then, Go Bills.